Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another gun video. In this video, we're going to be continuing this AR-15 lower build where I asked you to comment and give me some ideas of what you would put on this rifle to make this the most well-rounded rifle. What buffer tube, what gas system, what barrel, what upper receiver, as far as optics, what would you put on this to make this the most well-rounded ambidextrous rifle that you can put together. I appreciate those of you who watched it. If you haven't seen it, you can click here and get an idea of what I've already got into this. So going forward, I didn't really get much input. I got a lot of you that watched it, but I got input on my last AR-15 video on the gas system, and I'm doing some more research on that. But to get this thing started, I went ahead and purchased the buffer tube and the spring system that I'm going to be using on this. I'm going to be using a Geissele buffer tube. This is basically the same thing as an Aero Precision enhanced buffer tube that I put on my AR-15 M4E1. For those of you who don't know, this is an M4E1 Pro, which makes it fully ambidextrous. I decided to go with this one. It was a little cheaper than the Aero Precision buffer tube. It doesn't have like the little flange lip like the Aero Precision enhanced buffer tube has, but that doesn't matter to me. It came with the backing plate and the capsule nut. As far as the buffer spring system, I could have went with the same H2 buffer weight and spring that I used on my last AR-15 build. But for this one, I wanted to do it a little different. I wanted to put, in my opinion, what I thought would be the best option. I know some of you are going to be like, just keep it simple. You know, if you have malfunction, simple is better. But for this one, I'm going, I don't know, more high-end, I guess. So with the Geissele buffer tube, I'm going to be pairing it with the JP Enterprises silent capture spring system. This is the kit that you can purchase on their website, and it comes with 5 different springs, which are weighted for different cycle rates. It comes with the H2 buffer weight, which these are interchangeable. You can change them to any weight. It comes with the guide rod and the AR-15 bump stop, which this does work. This system does work in an AR-10. You just got to switch out the bump stop there. And then it comes with a spacer. That way if you're running the system on a rifle or a rifle link buffer system, you can run this. So with that being said, let's go ahead and put the buffer tube on, and then we'll get into assembling the JP Enterprises and installing it into this lower receiver. We're going to get started by putting the capsule nut on the buffer tube. I'm just going to go ahead and thread that on there. Alright, we got it all the way on there. We're going to go ahead and put the backing plate on, making sure that the little indent is facing your receiver. So you want that little indent facing into this little hole on the backside of your receiver. Most of you know that, but some of you might not. You might be watching a gun video for the first time. So, and then we're going to go ahead and thread this on here. We'll get it started. When we get close to the retaining hole, we'll stop and then we'll throw the detent in there. Alright, next we're going to be taking the buffer weight detent, the spring detent. We're going to put those together. We're going to drop them down in the hole right in front of your buffer tube. We're going to hold that there. Make sure you get it all the way down in there. Kind of thread this in a little bit, pressure on it. You're going to use your finger to push down And what you're going to do is right here is kind of the sweet spot for me. So the sweet spot is going to be where your buffer tube kind of covers just the lip, and your position holes are going to be facing the bottom of that retaining detail. We're going to go ahead and thread this on here. Make sure you get that backing plate in the hole. It will straighten this out for you just a little bit. Now, Geissele recommends you tighten your castle nut between 48 and 50 foot-pounds. So we're going to go ahead and get it snug, and then we'll throw a torque wrench on there. Alright, now that we got that on there, some people go ahead and stake this, some don't because they take this back off. I'm not really good at staking it, but I'm going to stake it anyway. And then we're going to go ahead and put the silent capture spring system together. Alright, so I got that staked, not very well unfortunately. I just use a regular hammer and a punch, and I just move a little bit of metal into those grooves, and it should be good enough. I'm not going to show you my staking because it's not very good, and I know you can go buy, the actual punch or the staking tool to do this right, but for me, that's what I have. It's quick and simple. The punch does slip a little bit sometimes, and that's kind of what happened on that one here. Back here is not too bad, but for my purposes, it's not going to go anywhere. So let's talk about the JP Enterprises silent spring capture system. This is the guide rod. This is the AR-15 bumper. You can take this off and run this in an AR-10. We have the buffer weight system. This is an H2 weighted buffer. We got 5 springs. These springs are weighted differently for the different cycle rates of your rifle. Every rifle is different, so it's going to take some trial and error to find the right spring for you and your whatever setup you have. It's just a matter of just taking it apart, switching them out, put it back in, and you're good to go. It will come with a spacer. That way, if you're running rifle length, you put this in the spacer and you can continue running the system. Makes it kind of nice. It's supposed to come with a little spacer retaining clip thing, but mine didn't come with it. I don't think I'm going to need it. And then it does come with Loctite for this little screw, which threads into the end of this guide rod, which holds everything together. You are going to need a T25 bit or screwdriver, and you're going to need a 1/8 inch punch or something like that to hold everything in place while you tighten it up. I have this in order according to the instructions, from lightest to heaviest. They recommend going with the black spring or the heavy spring for different cycle rates. I really don't know which one I need to go with. I'm just gonna go with the black one, which these aren't color coordinated. There's white, black, green, yellow, and then uncolored. And if I can, I'll put a chart up of the different springs and the cycle rates and stuff like that come in the instructions. So this is the black one. I don't think you're gonna be able to see the black end of it, but this part of it's black, and the rest of it's uncolored. But you're gonna go ahead and slide that over your guide rod. Alright. We're gonna take your buffer weight and then we're gonna compress it. And then we're gonna take our punch, stick it through the hole, and now we can put some Loctite on there and thread that screw on there, and that's all there is to assembling it. And I already have some 243 blue Loctite just for AR build, so I'm not going to open that package. I'll save it for another time. So we're just going to put a little bit on there. Go ahead and get this up on the screw. Throw a little red lock around there. Just a little bit, don't need a whole lot. I'll screw this on there. And I believe the torque specs on this screw, if you want to get technical, I think the instructions say it's like 50 inch-pounds, 40 or 50 inch-pounds, which isn't very much, so hand tight. So we use this little punch as a little leverage. We'll just snug it in there, hand tight, and then compress this. Slowly let it go. And now we have our silent capture system. So now that we have this assembled, we can go ahead and slide it in here. So to install this, you're going to take the rear bump stop, you're going to put it on top of that little detent, and you kind of got to rock it in there, otherwise it won't slide. And then to get past your hammer, you got to cock it all the way down, otherwise it won't go in there. So hammer down. Alright, so the buffer weight, being that there's these grooves and that detent does stick up quite a bit, it's stuck in the groove. So I'm going to take this little Allen wrench and try to hook and push that detent down. There we go, and that worked. So little Allen, that's all you need. And now we have this assembled. So this is that little detent. Everyone that has an AR or builds an AR knows what that little detent is. But if you don't, this does get stuck on those ridges as you push this silent capture spring system in there. So that little Allen key, all I did was just use that little leverage to push down on it, and it slid right in. So that's what this looks like installed. All right, so now that we got the buffer tube done, guys, I need you to comment down below and tell me what upper receiver should I go with it. Should I stick with the Aero Precision M4E1 upper receiver, or should I go with something different? I'm asking you. So please leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and turn that notification on so next time I post a video like this, you can follow along and see whether or not I chose your idea or if I chose somebody else's idea. I do have a 16-inch government profile barrel from Ballistic Advantage and a stag arm handguard, but if enough of you say otherwise, I won't do that. So let me know down in the comments how you would build this into the most well-rounded, complete rifle. I'm going to build it according to how you guys want me to build it. So leave a comment down below. See you guys next time.